Hey everyone, I'm Matt with TX Arms. Today we're going to talk about our shooting experiences with the Dan Wesson DWX and the Dan Wesson DWXc. This is the Dan Wesson DWX full size, and we're going to shoot.
Where? Where are we shooting at?
200 yards.
Oh,
Nah, it's not bad. It's pretty easy.
that's weird.
Yeah. All right, so we've got the two firearms here. This is definitely not an in-depth review. We have not put a ton of rounds through them, but we did get a chance to take them to the range and put a couple of hundred rounds through them.
Enough.
Yeah, just to get an initial shooting experience and just an initial impression of them. So we've got the Dan Wesson DWX full size, and we also have the Dan Wesson DWX compact. So both of these shot really well. I really enjoyed how they shot. I don't think Jared liked it quite as much, so we'll kind of talk about the differences in them and what we liked or didn't like about them. So I think coming from my experience with firearms, I've got a lot of experience with the CZ line, the CZ handguns, and this was very familiar to me as far as a CZ. It felt like a CZ. It shoots like a CZ. It's very much just a Shadow 2 with more slide on top and a really nice 1911 trigger and a safety on it. What'd you think?
None of what you said is wrong. We just have different opinions. So I like the compact better. To start with, the grip I liked a little bit better. But you do have more CZ in your life than I have ever had, and that I think maybe has added to your love of the DWXs. I just wanted more out of them, I think, after all the hype.
Sure.
I don't.
We did wait for these for
What,
2 years. Yeah.
I think. Jake's showing me a Coke. I don't like to say that I didn't like them because they're both great. They have good triggers. The grips are nice. But the recoil impulse wasn't as. I wanted them to be more 2011-y than CZ. Those aren't real words. You don't have to use them again. But it's more, like Matt said, it's very familiar to a CZ shooter, and it's not indifferent than a 2011, but it's a different impulse. That it's more.
It's snappier than a 2011.
It's not even that it's snappier. It's just that the wave is different. Like on a 2011, it's straight back and forth,
right,
and on
sure.
this, it's like a Walther in a
definitely
2011 had a baby. Like it's got a little snap to it.
Sure.
With the mass up front, they come back on target. They track really, really well. Like
it's still very
CZs always
smooth.
have.
It's still very smooth. Like I said, it shoots very similar to my Shadow 2. It's got a recoil impulse very similar to my Shadow 2. So it felt like I felt right at home with it.
Yeah.
The grip is a Shadow 2 grip for all intents and purposes. The only difference is now I've got a thumb ledge safety instead of the flush side safety that's on the Shadow 2 that I've got. And like I said, it does have a lot more slide on top. Aside from that, it really is a Shadow 2 that's dressed up with a lot of red.
The trigger is a whole lot different.
But that's the part. Like the trigger is really, really nice. I like my Shadow, my Shadow that I've got. It's a double single. I don't have a single action only Shadow. I've got the double single Shadow. It's been all Cajunized. Everything's got the bottom end is all Cajun gunwork. So it does have a really, really nice trigger.
It's very nice.
This is completely different though, because that trigger changes everything with the way that it feels. As far as that's a 1911 trigger.
Yeah.
100% that is a 2011 or 1911 style trigger on a Shadow. Like that's the coolest part about this. Is really that's it. What else we got?
Yeah, back to I'm a trigger snob, so that's kind of
Sure.
what sells me on stuff. It's not like the SAO or the Orange or anything like that. It's not a single stage CZ trigger. It's definitely a 2011 or a 1911 trigger in a CZ, and I think that did help me with my shooting experience on it. I mean, it's very easy to shoot. It's very easy to shoot fast and accurately. We were more than consistent at 200 yards with it on a full-size IPSC, and running plate racks and up-close stuff was very easy.
Yeah, no problem.
It's great.
With both guns.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the compact, because I really liked the full size. By far, my favorite was the full size. You didn't like the full size, but you were more favored towards the compact.
Yeah.
Any reason why,
Yeah,
or
grip
other than
size.
just you're weird?
Yeah,
Because
mostly
yeah,
just that
that's
I'm
what I
weird.
figured.
I don't like so the grip side. I don't like excess material under my pinky. It just bothers me. It's why I carry and shoot the Walther PDP compacts.
Less is more.
No, less is less. Actually, factually, in every way, capacity. You lose capacity, you lose mass, you lose a lot with a shorter grip, and it's a detriment, I would say, to really any firearms platform other than for concealability. But for me, it's about comfort in shooting. And these, where the base of the grip, that little ledge right there, just locks my hand up into here a lot better, and I can just get a better grip in my head and on the firearm with a shorter grip than I can with those. And I've always felt the same way. That's why anything that I do have that I run, uh, that's a compact, even I put mag wells on because I feel like it shows my hand up even further in there just to give me a better grip.
Yeah, and I can definitely agree with that. It does have like a little bit of a kick out on the front.
Yeah, like
so I don't touch that at all when
I have
I'm
all of
holding that
this.
gun. Yeah, like it does force you to have that higher grip with the compact.
Here, there's nothing there.
Yeah, no, I agree. It didn't bother me. Like I never noticed that at all. But again, it's 100% personal preference. My biggest issue with the compact, I wasn't crazy about the compact. It shot amazing. My biggest issue with the compact was actually I'm left-handed, and the compact
You call me stupid.
is well. I mean, the compact does not have an ambidextrous safety. At least this model does not. So actually, I caused myself a couple of malfunctions while I was shooting. As I was shooting, my trigger finger, my knuckle here on my finger would actually bump up during the recoil phase and just barely engage that safety. And I couldn't figure out why I was having a failure to come. It just wasn't shooting. I had a dead trigger, I thought, and it wasn't a dead trigger. It was my safety was on, and I had to reach over and knock that safety back off. 100% because I'm left-handed. I did not have that issue at all with the full size because I had that thumb ledge to rest my finger on when I'm right-handed. But when I'm left-handed, I don't have anything to hold that safety in the down position. So for me, being a left-handed shooter, that was a huge detriment to me for the compact over the full size. It still shot really well, but it was something that I had to pay attention to more. That was different for the compact. So that was absolutely a huge negative of not having that ambidextrous. I don't know why. Maybe just less snag area, but that's kind of dumb.
I think so. I think just because it's supposed to be a carry model and most people are right-handed, but I definitely think there should be,
even if they are right-handed, you should be able to shoot left-handed. Just as if I'm left-handed, I should be able to shoot right-handed.
I agree.
100%. It is what it is. But like I said, that's my huge nitpick. Probably my biggest takeaway and detriment to the compact versus the full size, and probably why I draw myself towards the full size more. As far as capacity-wise, the full size actually runs a CZ-P09 magazine, which is a 19-round magazine. The base plates are obviously the DWX base plates, but the body itself is the P09 magazine. The compact actually runs the SP01.
Yeah.
No, the P01.
Is
not
it the P01?
P01 is the compact. It's a 15-round magazine. I don't know why they went with a P series magazine on the compact versus like the SP01 on the, or like the CZ75, the full size 75s on the full size. I don't know. I'm not the designer.
I think it's a case of we have these in the warehouse and this is what we're going to use.
No, surely it's got to be a better reason than that. Other than like the 19, the P09 has got a 19
it's a different gripping
magazine, which is huge capacity for a flush fit magazine. Like it's got a lot of bullets. But we've got a lot
of grip too.
It's yeah. I mean it does. But for a production firearm to have 19 rounds, that's pretty cool. But we do have a 15 round for the compact, which is going to be pretty typical for your compact guns. Obviously, the other huge difference is going to be the grips. The full size grips do have a very aggressive texture. I really like that. I like super aggressive textures. The compact was not aggressive, but it was still very grippy.
It's supple somehow. It's supple but made of metal. It felt like the the square cuts in it let your skin get into it more. So
It's
none of us could articulate it well, but
it's really sexy too.
it's like sandpaper and like good leather.
Yeah,
I don't.
it works really well.
Yeah.
It's definitely not as aggressive. This is a very aggressive. You're holding onto it, and it's not going anywhere. That one, you just kind of meld into the gun.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Of
want
like-
this next to my body
No,
carrying.
I would not carry
anytime.
this.
This would be perfect. I
Beautiful.
really love this thing, actually.
The other difference is going to be a big difference on these is going to be your sights. We
Mhm.
do have a adjustable rear sight on the full size as well as a fiber optic front sight, and the compact is a little bit different.
They are the what's a ring sight with a tritium center and a fixed rear. It's a blackout rear. It's not a dot or a U or anything. I actually prefer that style for carry. I think it's a lot easier to pick up than like a Glock U or anything like that.
The cool part about this one, it's actually called the battle hook rear sight as
Mhm.
well. It's got a very straight edge on it that is.
on the table.
Don't do that. Don't do that. I mean, you could, but it's just going to tear up my table. It's not going to hurt the gun. It's going to hurt the table. But it does have that kind of a flat face hook onto it that is designed for that single hand manipulation. If your weak hand or primary hand goes down and I need to clear a malfunction or charge the firearm for whatever reason, it's very simple to grab onto the side of a table or your belt or whatever you need to.
I just did that off of my love handle
yeah.
accidentally. It wasn't fun, but it worked.
That's all I have anyways. So. But yeah, it does have that battle hook rear sight, which is really nice. It does a really good job at doing that. So I actually like the sights on the compact better.
I think they're easier to pick up too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are very easy to pick up. Like I said, it's got a really good contrasting tritium front sight with the battle hook rears. Overall, though, I really enjoyed them. I liked them a lot. Again, I've got a more extensive background, I think, with CZ, so that may have kind of lended me more towards that because it felt like my CZ, just with a larger slide and obviously that really nice 1911-esque trigger. So
yeah, and I think I like smaller guns that don't have a lot of CZ experience, so I came into it maybe
different expectations.
Yeah, with maybe higher expectations and less experience with the platform, which may be why I like the compact so much better. I don't know. They're both great though. I mean, I don't really have a valid bitch about any of them. I don't. I'm just me, and I'm particular about my guns.
It's just one of those things.
Yeah, I like the smaller one. The bigger one's fantastic though. I feel like when we shot these a month ago, I was a lot more harsh on them and thinking about it and having time to like really think about how they work. They're both pretty amazing.
The other thing we talked about this. They are not optic ready, and there are no optic.
Oh, we're gonna get to that part now.
There are no optic ready options. So, at least right now, I'm sure there will be in the future.
I don't think there will be.
Well, I know when the Shadow 2 first came out, it wasn't optic ready for a very long time. Now there's optic cuts. For some people, that may be an issue. For me, I do want a red dot on everything.
Yeah,
but like,
why not?
Absolutely, it needs a red dot. But also for what I'm going to potentially invest in these firearms, I'm going to be very particular about what dot I want. And I really want that one dot to match this one gun. So I'm going to take both of those, send it off to the factory and get slide cut to be a perfect fit for me. But maybe not everybody wants to do that. Maybe somebody wants a modular optic plate system.
Nobody wants a plate system. Man.
No, plates are for dinner, not for guns. But there's a lot of factory guns now that are optic cut.
Yeah, I think for this, I think your point's very valid. I think for the big match gun, I think sending you off to get it cut is fine. For the carry gun, I think this should probably come with an RMR footprint on it.
Either RMR or the RMRCC, the shield. I would absolutely run an EPS carry on this all day long.
I think that between the two houses pairing with it that made this, I think they probably could have made their own new unique mounting system.
As long as it doesn't need a plate.
Yeah, as long as they could have done something better than just irons. And like we said, the irons are great. The battle hook's awesome. It's easy to pick up, but it's not a red dot.
Red dots are life.
And I don't want, beyond that, I don't want to spend an extra few $100s when I've already spent, how much are these? A lot.
A lot.
A lot.
You're just shy of $2,000.
Yeah.
MSRP. Street price is obviously a little bit less. But that's the other thing. Is like I said, there's not an optic cut yet. In the future, there may be. I have no control over that. But I said that was one of the other complaints that we heard from a lot of people is they want to put optics on it. Obviously, I would as well, but this would be a gun that I would want to send off with a Trigicon SRO or the 507 comp or something specifically that I want to be cut for that gun. Other than that, I have nothing else other than Jared's squirrel moment.
So I am the distance between the chamber and where the irons are looks real small to have anything that would co-witness and have a dot now. Am I just look? Is it just look weird to me from here?
It does have a very long sight on it. You may lose the rear sight with it. Maybe that's why I don't.
Anyway,
I don't know, man. I'm not the engineer.
I'm not either. Obviously.
That's just something to point out to you guys. Is it's an iron sight pistol, and that's all it is. Unless you, I know people have been milling them for dots, but I can't, off the top of my head, remember if they kept the original sights or if they lost the rear sight.
I don't think there's room.
Or if they milled a new dovetail in the back for a set of different sights. So, anyways, this is the Dan Wesson DWX and the Dan Wesson DWXc. Let us know what you guys think of these new guns down in the comments. Like I said, I really enjoyed shooting them. I absolutely loved them. Jared seemed fairly mediocre about them, but
I've come around though. I do.
They are fun.
I like them now.
I like them. So, anyways, thanks guys for watching. And Austin, what'd you think?